always, we're going to begin with a little bit of a mindful moment. So I ask you to just be comfortable and try to clear your mind and just focus on being right here, right now. Not what's happening next period, not what happened on dorm, not anything about sports or music. Just be right here in this moment in this beautiful space. Odin is going to ring the bell 8 times, and I encourage you to focus on the sound of the bell. And at that last ring of the bell, I want you to just take some time to see how long you can pay attention to it until it's not even audible anymore. You cannot even hear it. We're going to begin, as we do every chapel, with our Rectory Chapel Covenant read together. We are each on a sacred journey to understand who we are in the context of the wide and wonderful world we share with one another. Though our neighbors' journeys may at times be different than our own, we honor, respect, and celebrate that each one of us is wonderfully created, each one of us is special, and each person's journey is unique and sacred. And do we have 2 4th graders who are going to be able to light the peace candle? Let me make sure we have our. So again, as we light the peace candle, I want you just to take a moment to think about places in your life or in the world or in this community where we might want to hold a special thought about peace, a prayer for peace, or an intention for peace, and focus on that beautiful flame that keeps going. And as we do, we will hear from Nora and Amanda. synopsis of what the song is about, since it was in Chinese. And in one phrase, you said it was blessing of the world. So what a perfect song. Please stand up. Thank you. So before we begin our readings, you can see by the title, today's topic is about not judging a book by its cover. Raise your hand if you've ever heard that expression. Don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, good. So we're going to explore that a little bit in a few different avenues. And many of you were really kind enough and helpful enough to fill out a Google form for me, so I got to know your ideas. One thing I will say that's a little different about this chapel is some of the readings are a little longer. And I did that on purpose because there are two particular stories that I thought would be really good to tell today. So more than ever, I really hope you follow along or listen closely to our readers, because these are stories that I think you'll find interesting. They're kind of like parables, which means they have a moral, they have a message. So I will start off and Odie was reading the first reading. Thank you.
But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his life, while I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Long ago, in a village, there were 4 blind men who had never encountered an elephant. The people of the village brought an elephant to them and invited each of the men to touch it and describe what they believed the creature to be. The first man reached out and touched the elephant's side. He said, "An elephant is like a great wall, strong and unmovable." The second man touched the elephant's tusk and declared, "No, an elephant is like a sharp spear, smooth, strong, and deadly." The third man felt the trunk and argued, "You are both wrong. An elephant is like a snake, flexible and writhing." The fourth man, who grasped the leg, confidently said, "No, the elephant is like a tree, firm and sturdy." The men quarreled, each insisting that his experience was the truth. Then a wise elder of the village spoke, saying, "Each of you has touched only one part of the elephant. You are all correct, and yet none of you knows the whole truth. The elephant is far more than any of your experiences." The blind men bowed their heads, realizing the wisdom of the elder's words. They understood that true knowledge requires listening to others and considering different perspectives.
Sunday morning in New York. People were sitting quietly, reading papers or resting with eyes closed. It was a peaceful scene. Then a man and his children entered the subway car. The man sat next to me and closed his eyes, apparently oblivious to his children, who were yelling, throwing things, and even grabbing people's papers. I couldn't believe he could be so insensitive. Eventually, with what I felt was unusual patience, I turned and said, "Sir, your children are disturbing people. I wonder if you couldn't control them a little more." The man lifted his gaze and as if he saw the situation for the first time. "Oh, you're right," he said softly. "I guess I should do something about it. We just came from the hospital where their mother died about an hour ago. I don't know what to think, and I guess they don't know how to handle it either." Suddenly, I saw things differently. And because I saw differently, I felt differently. I behaved differently. My irritation vanished. I didn't have to worry about controlling my attitude or my behavior. My heart filled with compassion. "Your wife just died? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you tell me about it? What can I do to help?" Everything changed in an instant.
I can almost say that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you're not reaching. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost in no direction. My faith is shaking, my life, I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other
There is no such thing as a boring person. Everyone has stories and insights worth sharing. While on the road, we let our phones or laptops take up our attention. By doing that, we might miss out on the chance to learn and observe ideas and inspiration from an inexpensive source, our fellow travelers. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell in rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. When the sun came up, the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no roots. Other seeds fell among thorns which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seeds fell on the good soil that produced a crop. 160 or 30 times was what it sown.
Thank you to all the readers and musicians. So we heard a lot of stories, we heard a lot of parables. And I put out a Google form to all of you. Just raise your hand if you filled it out. That form that asks, hey, have you ever had a situation where you thought you knew someone or you made an assumption about someone and you were wrong? So that's what we're talking about today. Now, many of you said I don't want my story shared. But I heard some pretty good stories in that Google form that some of you said I could share your specific story. But think about what we might be missing out on. And now this is not just about relationships, but about activities. Some of you said, I ended up on this sports team because I didn't make the team I wanted to make, and now I really love that sport. Miss Callahan, you should know that. So, and I know you know that. One of the reasons at Rectory, there's a few activities that we kind of don't give you a choice about. Like in 5th and 6th grade band, at 5th and 6th grade, you have to play an instrument. For all students, you have to play a sport. That is because we sometimes make an assumption. We judge an activity based on what we think it is. Oh, that's for those music kids, or that's for those jocks, those sporty kids. And we forget that we might have that inside us to be explored that maybe we haven't had the opportunity to yet. So with activities, I encourage you to keep an open mind. Don't judge the activity before you try it. You still might discover you don't like it, but you might discover you do. And certainly, even more than with activities, with people. So that second story that was read, I believe George read it, about the man on the subway. That's a really sad story. So that story rings true for me because I think one of my mantras in life is everyone has a story. That's sort of the thing I've always told my kids growing up, my own kids. As a matter of fact, they roll their eyes, yeah, Mom, everyone has a story. But it's something I say a lot because we never know what someone's going through. So you might see the quiet student at school at the start of the year. And you might think, okay, they're shy. Or you might think, oh, they're being a little bit off-putting, they just don't want to be my friend. You might not know that there's a story behind that quiet persona. Maybe at their last school they didn't have any friends. Maybe they were bullied. Maybe they're super, super, super homesick and they can't bear to start talking because they're afraid they're going to cry. So that story about the man on the subway, the people on the subway were judging this family because the kids were out of control. They were just misbehaving. And then later, because the man decided to get to know this stranger, they learned that their mother had just died. So the kids were kind of reeling. They didn't know what to make of what just happened in their life. I personally think about that when I'm at the grocery store and I see a mom with her cart and her kids going really wild and misbehaving. And Mom, I want this, and I want to just be like, just quiet those kids down. But none of us know what it must be like to be that parent. I'm going to pick on you again, Miss Callahan, but Mr. Roy. What's it like to be spending the whole day with toddler twins and a 5-year-old? By the end of the day, when we see them, maybe, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happened and none of us will ever know what that feels like. So before we judge, before we assume that that's not someone we should get to know because of how they're dressed, or because they're quiet, or because they play this sport, take the time to get to know the person. Ask a question. Tell them something about yourself. Now, you might be thinking, this would be a perfect chapel message for the start of the year, right? It's like, hey, everybody, get to know each other. But the reason I decided to talk about this at the end of the school year, almost the end, is because I want us to reflect back and who are those people that I thought I'd never be friends with? What are those things I never would have imagined? I never would have thought I'd be speaking at chapel or singing at chapel. I never would have imagined I would be on the lacrosse team or friends with this kid. So we're kind of on the tail end of that, looking back. And you know, you can always learn from what you've experienced for the future, right? Now the other piece of this is the one reading that didn't really have to do with judging a book by its cover, is the last one. It's a story, it's another parable about the importance of nurturing something so that it can grow. It's about a sower, meaning a farmer, someone who tosses seeds out onto a path. And depending on what kind of nurturing and nourishment those seeds get, they're either going to grow or they're going to just be little tiny seeds. So part of the moral here, the lesson here is it's going to take some time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take attention to get to know that person or to let that relationship grow. Now I have a little audience participation here. So I need, let's say, 5 people who think they have a pretty good imagination. Okay? Northie, both of you. Danny. Come on over, Ryan. And who's back there? I can't see. Is it how? Who is that? Come on over. Yep. And come on over. All right. I need you to pretend you have just landed on the planet Earth from someplace out in outer space, okay? Not some other planet, okay? I'm going to hand you a little something in your hand. Just keep it in your hand, okay? Now you have to just pretend you know nothing about anything on planet Earth, okay? You're just handed this. You get to planet Earth. You see this little stuff in your hand, and you have to decide what you think this is, okay? Or just describe it in whatever words you can. So you don't have to all speak, but if anyone would like to start, how would you describe it? They don't know what you have in your hand, by the way. Ryan, what do you think? Just use descriptive words.
Small, green, little things.
Small little grain things.
Like small little balls.
Small little balls, okay? Anyone else?
They look like bagel seeds.
Bagel seeds. So you have bagels on your planet? That's cool. Okay, so on this planet they have bagels, and these look like seeds from bagels. Okay. Anyone else want to share? Northie.
They look like shells.
Shells. Okay.
It's from
Shells.
yeah.
Okay, like pieces of a shell, like little tiny pieces of shell. Do they look important, or should we just kind of just toss them? They don't look that important. Please don't toss them here because then I have to speak. So they don't look that important. So like I didn't hand you like a pile of diamonds, right? Did you want to say anything? Did any of the people who didn't speak want to say anything, or so
Black and round.
black and round. Okay. So yeah, and coming from another planet and having no knowledge, you might just be like, you know, dirt or nothing important. It's so tiny. Okay. So keep them in your hand. If you had the extra knowledge, you would know that all you had to do is put it somewhere very carefully and cover it with some fertile soil and water it, and it becomes this, right? So if we don't take the time to figure out what we're looking at and then to nurture what we're looking at, you never get to see the beauty of it, okay? So thank you, aliens. Can you please put this in my hand? It's okay if it doesn't all make it in my hand, but we don't want too much on the floor. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the next time you are thinking that you know someone based on what clothes they're wearing, what shoes they have on, maybe even what car they pull up into the day room circle in, you know, all of these things. Remember, there's more to that person. They have a story that hasn't been told yet, maybe. And if you take the time to see them more than this little tiny speck of dust, but rather get to know them, water it, nurture it, you will discover something probably pretty cool. And you might have been missing out on a great friendship if you hadn't done so. So with that said, I would like to invite up whichever teachers have agreed to sing this song with me. Come on up. One, two. We ended okay, didn't we? Thank you for singing, by the way, everybody. All right, so now, bringing it down a notch. We're going to end with a closing blessing. And as we've done in a few chapels, we're going to have the blessing is written in couplets, in 2 lines. I would like this side to read the line that's not bold, and this side to read the line that is bold. At the end, you'll notice this side is going to have 2 lines, okay? Just notice that. Here we go. May we walk forward with open hearts, seeing not just what is shown, but what is deeply held. May we pause before we assume, and listen before we decide. May we remember that every story is still unfolding, and every soul holds wisdom we have yet to learn. May kindness be our first thought, and understanding our constant guide. As we leave this space, may we carry with us the courage to seek truth, the grace to offer patience, and the humility to embrace the unknown. Go in peace with eyes that see, ears that hear, and hearts that know that there is always more than meets the eye. Thank you all for your participation today.